There comes a moment, often unannounced and unexpected, when you find yourself standing at the edge of everything you thought you knew. You look at the life you have built, the paths you've walked, the victories and the wounds you carry, and you realize that something essential has been missing. It is not that you have failed. It is not that you have been lost. It is simply that up until now, your life was waiting for its true meaning to awaken. And for the chosen ones, this awakening is not an accident. It is not random. It is a sacred unfolding, a divine appointment written into the fabric of your being before you even took your first breath. Until now, you may have chased goals that others set for you.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
You may have believed that success meant fitting into a mold, achieving milestones, gathering approval. But the truth is, deep down, you always felt the hollow echo beneath the applause. Deep down, you always knew there had to be more than just surviving, more than just achieving, more than just existing. You knew, perhaps without being able to put it into words, that your life was meant to mean something far greater than what the world offered you. And now, that knowing is no longer a distant whisper. It is a roar within your bones. It is a fire that refuses to be ignored. When you are a chosen one, your life begins to have true meaning not when you achieve what the world calls success, but when you align yourself with the mission your soul came here to fulfill. This mission is not based on titles or accolades. It is not about being better than anyone else. It is about becoming fully, fiercely, unapologetically yourself, the self that existed before fear taught you to shrink, before pain taught you to hide, and before conditioning taught you to forget. True meaning is born the moment you say yes to the sacred blueprint coded into your very existence. It is born the moment you stop asking, "What do they want from me?" and start asking, "What was I created to give?" It is born the moment you stop chasing validation and start embodying truth. But here's the paradox. The moment you step onto this path, everything you once relied on may begin to crumble. Relationships may shift. Old dreams may dissolve. Comfort zones may shatter. Because the life built on false meaning cannot sustain the weight of your true calling. It must fall away to make room for something real, something eternal, something magnificent. And this falling away is not a punishment. It is a sacred clearing. It is the hand of the divine preparing you to carry the weight of a destiny that is bigger than anything you could have imagined. Have you ever dared to ask yourself, what if everything falling apart is actually everything falling into place? As your true purpose begins to reveal itself, you will notice a shift in what moves you. The things that once thrilled you may no longer satisfy. The ambitions that once drove you may feel hollow. The approval that once seemed essential may feel irrelevant. Instead, you will find yourself drawn to deeper waters. You will crave authenticity like air. You will hunger for impact, not applause. You will thirst for connection, not convenience. You will find joy not in being seen, but in seeing the beauty in others, seeing the sacred in the ordinary, seeing the fingerprints of God in places you once overlooked. And you will begin to realize that meaning is not something you create through effort. It is something you unlock through surrender. It is something that rises naturally when you stop trying to be what you think you should be and start becoming who you truly are. Meaning flows not from chasing life, but from opening to it. Meaning arises when you stop asking life to serve you and start asking how you can serve life. But living this way requires a radical shift in perspective. It requires you to let go of the illusion of control. It requires you to trust that your soul knows the way even when your mind does not. It requires you to walk by faith, not by sight, to keep moving even when the path is invisible, to keep believing even when the evidence is thin, to keep loving even when it hurts. It demands that you stop measuring your worth by external metrics and start measuring it by the depth of your presence, the purity of your intentions, the resilience of your love. You will be tempted to turn back. There will be moments when old life calls to you, offering the comfort of the familiar, the safety of the known. There will be moments when the uncertainty feels unbearable, when the loneliness cuts deep, when the cost seems too high. But in those moments, you must remember, you were not called to an easy life. You were called to a meaningful one. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for greatness. And greatness is always born in the fires of surrender. Meaning does not come from having all the answers. It comes from living the questions with an open heart. Meaning does not come from reaching the summit. It comes from the courage to climb. Meaning does not come from avoiding pain. It comes from letting pain carve you into someone capable of deeper love, deeper compassion, deeper authenticity. And so I ask you, are you willing to lose the life you planned so that you can step into the life you were created for? Are you willing to trust the slow, sometimes painful, often bewildering process of transformation? Are you willing to believe that the dreams planted in your heart were not random, but revelation's sacred blueprints pointing you toward the life where your soul and your destiny finally meet? Because if you are, then know this, you are already on the path. Every tear you have cried, every battle you have fought, every moment you have felt like giving up but chose to rise instead, all of it has brought you here. All of it has prepared you for this awakening. All of it has been woven into the tapestry of your true story, a story more beautiful and powerful than anything you could have written on your own. Your life begins to have true meaning the moment you stop living for survival and start living for significance. The moment you stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" The moment you stop chasing a life that looks good and start building a life that feels right. The moment you stop trying to fit in and start daring to stand out. The moment you stop fearing failure and start fearing a life unlived. You are a chosen one. Not because you are better. Not because you are perfect. But because you are willing to see, willing to hear, willing to rise. Chosen because you carry a light that the world desperately needs. Chosen because your very existence is a message, a medicine, a miracle waiting to be unleashed. And the beautiful, terrifying, breathtaking truth is this: the meaning you seek is already inside you. It has been waiting patiently, silently, through every detour, every delay, every despair. It has been waiting for you to remember who you are, why you came, what you are here to do. And now, the remembering has begun. The only question that remains is, will you say yes? You may not have known it, but every step you have taken, every tear you have cried, every dream you have dared to dream, even when it felt impossible, has been part of a blueprint so intricate, so precise, that only the infinite could have designed it. You were never abandoned to randomness. You were never wandering without purpose. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every seeming setback has been a necessary thread woven into the tapestry of your becoming. We often think that meaning is something we find out there, something we stumble upon by luck or accident, but the truth is deeper. The meaning is something that is revealed when we look back with new eyes, when we see that even our pain had a purpose, even our detours were part of the path. It is easy to bless the dreams that come true. It is harder, infinitely harder, to bless the dreams that shatter. But what if the dreams that broke were never meant to define you? What if they were only stepping stones, necessary catalysts to push you deeper into the real dream, the dream hidden beneath the surface desire, the dream too big, too holy, too transformative to be contained within the smaller, safer dreams you first dared to imagine? Have you ever dared to ask yourself, what if my greatest disappointments were actually the doorway to my true life? Pain is a ruthless teacher, but it is never a random one. It strips away the false. It burns away the illusions. It tears down the walls we built to protect ourselves, but that in truth only kept us imprisoned. Pain forces us to confront what is real. It invites us to ask the questions we were too busy, too comfortable, too scared to ask before. Who am I really? Why am I here? What matters enough to suffer for, to fight for, to live for? These questions do not arise in seasons of ease. They arise when the ground shakes beneath our feet. They arise when the old answers crumble into dust. They arise when we are forced to confront the terrifying, liberating truth that we are not who we thought we were, and that this is the best news we could have ever received. Failure, too, is a misunderstood gift. We are taught to fear it, to avoid it, to see it as evidence of our inadequacy. But the chosen ones know better. We know that failure is not the opposite of success. It is the refining fire that prepares us for true success, the kind of success that cannot be measured in trophies or titles, but only in the depth of our love, the strength of our spirit, the authenticity of our lives. Failure humbles us. It breaks the grip of ego. It teaches us resilience, compassion, creativity, courage. It reveals the parts of ourselves that are still unhealed, still untrusting, still afraid. And in doing so, it offers us the opportunity to grow, to heal, to become. Have you ever dared to consider, what if every failure was a secret training ground, a hidden initiation into the strength you would need to fulfill your real destiny? And then there are the dreams that refuse to die, the dreams that keep whispering to you even when everything in the world tells you they are impossible. Those dreams are not accidents, they are maps. They are glimpses of the life your soul remembers, even when your mind forgets. They are signposts pointing you toward the unique contribution you came here to make, the light you came here to shine, the love you came here to embody. Those dreams are sacred. They are seeds planted by the divine within the soil of your being, waiting for the right season to bloom. But dreams alone are not enough. They must be watered with faith, fertilized with action, protected with perseverance. They must be honored not just when they are easy, but especially when they are hard. They must be trusted even when the path toward them is shrouded in mist, even when progress feels invisible, even when hope feels foolish. Because the truth is, the greater the dream, the greater the preparation required. The deeper the calling, the deeper the breaking and remaking of the vessel that is you. And so you see, nothing has been wasted. Not the pain, not the failures, not the forgotten dreams or the nights you cried yourself to sleep, not the years that felt lost, not the detours that seemed to lead nowhere. All of it has been preparation. All of it has been weaving you into who you were always meant to be. All of it has been sharpening your sight, softening your heart, strengthening your spirit. And now, you stand on the threshold. Now, you are being invited to step forward not as someone trying to find meaning, but as someone who understands that meaning has been finding you all along. You are being invited to become the living embodiment of everything you have learned, everything you have survived, and everything you have dared to hope for even when hope seemed impossible. But this invitation comes with a choice. Will you cling to the past, to the old wounds, the old fears, the old stories of limitation? Or will you step boldly, nakedly, vulnerably into the future that has been calling you all along? Will you trust that what you carry is needed, even if the world does not yet recognize it? Will you trust that your voice matters, your love matters, your life matters, even when the evidence is thin? Will you trust that the same power that brought you through the valley will carry you up the mountain? This is the moment that separates those who dream from those who live the dream. This is the moment that defines the chosen ones not by their perfection, but by their willingness, by their audacity to rise again and again, even when it would be easier to stay down, by their stubborn refusal to let fear have the final word, by their relentless choice to believe in the unseen, to trust in the goodness of the path, to keep walking even when the way is hard and hope is dim. Because here is the truth, your life is not small. It was never meant to be small. You were never meant to merely survive. You were meant to blaze. You were meant to illuminate. You were meant to transform every space you enter simply by the love you carry, the light you shine, the truth you embody. And every moment you live from that place, every moment you choose authenticity over approval, courage over comfort, love over fear, you fulfill the sacred blueprint written within you. You infuse your life with a meaning so deep, so fierce, so undeniable that it ripples out into eternity, touching lives you may never meet, sparking fires you may never see, building a legacy that no force of darkness can erase. You are not a mistake. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are exactly who you were created to be, arriving at exactly the right time, carrying exactly the gifts the world needs now. You are a living miracle, a walking answer to prayers spoken long before you were born. And now, The only thing left is to say yes. Yes to the pain that shaped you. Yes to the dreams that sustain you. Yes to the destiny that awaits you. Yes to the life of meaning that is already unfolding within you. Yes to being who you really are, fully, fiercely, gloriously, unapologetically. Because the world does not need more copies, more conformists, more people hiding their light to fit in. The world needs you, the real you, the awakened you, the on fire you. And you, beloved soul, are ready. You have always been ready. You simply have to remember. You simply have to trust. And when you do, you will find that life itself rises to meet you, to support you, to echo the yes you dared to give with blessings beyond anything you could have imagined. Because when a chosen one says yes to their true life, all of heaven says yes with them. And the meaning you have longed for will no longer be something you seek. It will be something you are. And so the journey does not end with the realization that your life has meaning. It only begins there. For when you finally awaken to the truth of who you are and why you are here, a new kind of life starts to unfold, a life not driven by fear or ambition, but by devotion, not by the need to prove yourself, but by the desire to pour yourself out as an offering to a world that is starving for authenticity, for courage, for real love. No longer are you trapped in the endless cycle of striving and performing, trying to earn a place in a world that was never designed to recognize the brilliance of your soul. You understand now that you were never meant to fit into the old systems. You were meant to create new ones simply by the way you live, the way you breathe, the way you love. Every step you take from this new awareness becomes a prayer, a declaration that says, I am here. I remember. I choose to live awake. And as you walk this path, you will notice that the very fabric of reality seems to respond differently to you. Opportunities arise not from manipulation, but from magnetic resonance. Relationships deepen not from strategy, but from presence. Miracles unfold not because you force them, but because you become the kind of person around whom miracles naturally happen. You begin to realize that life itself is a living being, intelligent, responsive, eager to collaborate with those who are aligned with truth. Every setback becomes a setup. Every heartache becomes a portal to deeper compassion. Every challenge becomes an invitation to greater mastery. And you, who once thought you were merely surviving, realize you are now participating in the sacred dance of creation itself. But this path demands vigilance. It demands that you guard your heart against the subtle seductions of the old world, the temptations to shrink back into self-doubt, to numb yourself with distractions, to trade your authenticity for approval when the road gets lonely. It demands that you keep choosing truth over comfort, purpose over popularity, love over fear, again and again, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. Because the true measure of a chosen one is not how brightly they shine when the world applauds, but how steadfastly they burn when the world is silent. Have you ever dared to ask yourself, am I willing to shine even when no one notices? Am I willing to live fully even if no one understands? Because that is the courage the path demands, the courage to live not for recognition, but for reverence, not for validation, but for vision, not for reward, but because you can do no other, because something inside you burns too fiercely to be extinguished. And as you walk deeper into this life of meaning, you will find that the greatest joys are astonishingly simple. A moment of real connection with another soul. A quiet knowing that you were exactly where you were meant to be. A sudden rush of gratitude, so overwhelming it brings you to your knees. You will find that true wealth is not measured in possessions, but in presence. That true power is not the ability to control others, but the ability to master yourself. That true freedom is not the absence of hardship, but the presence of unwavering love through it all. You will begin to see life not as something happening to you, but as something happening through you, as a sacred partnership between your soul and the source that created you. And in this partnership, you will find a peace that nothing in the outer world can take away. There will be days when the old grief rises, when the old fears whisper, when the old doubts knock at the door of your mind. Let them come. Let them pass. Do not fight them. Do not cling to them. Simply watch them move through you like clouds across a vast sky. You are not your fears. You are not your doubts. You are the sky vast, unchanging, eternal. You are the awareness that holds it all in compassion and lets it all go in freedom. This is the mastery you are being called into now, not the elimination of all struggle, but the transcendence of it, the ability to move through life without being imprisoned by its storms. And as you live this way, something extraordinary happens. You become a beacon. Not because you are trying to be, but because you cannot help but be. Your very being begins to radiate a frequency that calls others home to themselves. Your life becomes a living invitation, a silent sermon more powerful than any words could ever be. You find that your greatest impact comes not from what you do, but from who you are. And as you stand more fully in your true self, you give others permission to do the same. You become the living proof that it is not only possible to live awake, it is inevitable for those who are willing to surrender everything they are not in order to become everything they are. And so I ask you now, beloved soul, one final question. Are you willing to let your entire life become a prayer? Are you willing to let your every breath, your every step, your every touch be an offering of love, an act of creation? A testament to the truth that meaning is not something given to you, it is something you choose, something you embody, something you become. Because if you are, then you will find that no circumstance, no betrayal, no disappointment can take away the profound, unshakable joy of a life lived in alignment with your soul. You will find that even in the darkest nights, you are not alone, for the same light that called you will walk with you, guide you, strengthen you. You will find that even in the face of death, you are victorious, for you have already tasted the immortality that comes from living true. This is the life you were born for. This is the meaning you have been seeking. And it has been seeking you all along. Now is the time. Now is your time. Step forward, not with fear, but with reverence, with gratitude, with awe. Step forward knowing that you are not only living your own story, you are participating in the great, eternal story of love awakening to itself through you. Know that every act of courage, every act of forgiveness, every act of love, no matter how small, ripples out into eternity in ways you cannot yet fathom. Know that your life matters more than you know, that your presence is a gift beyond measure, that your very existence is a miracle in motion. And so, beloved soul, rise. Rise in love. Rise in truth. Rise in purpose. Rise and become the living embodiment of the meaning that has been written into your heart since before time began. Rise and remember, you are the meaning. You are the light. You are the love. And the world is waiting desperately, hungrily, hopefully for you to be all that you already are. When we truly rise into who we are, we realize that being a chosen one was never about superiority. It was never about being elevated above others or escaping the trials of life. It was about carrying a responsibility so sacred, so profound, that it humbles us to our knees. It was about embodying a love so vast that it breaks open the hardest parts of ourselves so that light can pour in. It was about allowing our lives to become instruments through which the divine can sing a new song into the world, a song of remembrance, a song of awakening, a song of rebirth. And yet, even as we recognize this, we must also recognize that our humanity does not vanish, it deepens. We do not float above the struggles of life, we enter them more fully, more consciously, more compassionately. We become more sensitive, not less. We feel the world's pain more acutely, not less. We weep more easily, not because we are weak, but because our hearts are no longer barricaded by fear. We have shed the armor that once protected us and imprisoned us, and now, naked and vulnerable, we walk through the fires of life with nothing but love as our shield. And in this vulnerability, we discover a strength that is unbreakable. A strength that does not come from domination or resistance or force, but from surrender, from yielding to a power greater than ourselves, from trusting that even when we cannot see the way is still unfolding through us. We learn to dance with uncertainty, to make peace with mystery, to find beauty in the questions we cannot answer. We learn to live not from the mind's need for control, but from the soul's trust in the unfolding. And as we do, we become part of something so much bigger than ourselves, a movement, a tide, a revolution of consciousness that is sweeping across the world, quiet and unstoppable. This is not a revolution of violence or ideology. It is a revolution of presence, a revolution of love, a revolution of those who have remembered who they are and why they are here, and who refuse to go back to sleep. It is a revolution of those who choose to bless rather than curse, to heal rather than harm, to build rather than destroy. It is a revolution that begins not with grand gestures, but with small, invisible acts of courage and kindness and truth, repeated over and over until they reshape the very fabric of reality. It is a revolution that lives in the way we listen, the way we forgive, the way we honor the sacredness of every moment, every being, every breath. And you, beloved soul, are a vital part of it. Have you ever dared to ask yourself, what if the quiet choices I make each day are shaping the destiny of the world? What if my willingness to love in the face of hatred, to hope in the face of despair, to rise in the face of defeat, is not only transforming my life, but the collective life we all share? Because it is. Every time you choose love over fear, you tip the scales toward a future of healing. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you open a door for miracles. Every time you choose truth over comfort, you anchor a new possibility into the earth. You are not insignificant. You are not powerless. You are a ripple in the great ocean of awakening, and your ripple matters more than you know. And as you continue to walk this path, you will find that the ultimate meaning of your life is not found in what you accumulate, not in what you achieve, not even in what you build. It is found in who you become. It is found in the depth of your love, the clarity of your vision, the purity of your presence. It is found in your willingness to be fully here, fully alive, fully surrendered to the sacred unfolding of your existence. It is found in the way your life becomes a living prayer, a living offering, a living testament to the truth that love is real, that light is stronger than darkness, that the impossible is possible when we dare to believe. And there will come a day, perhaps sooner than you think, when you will look back on all the pain, all the struggle, all the nights you thought you couldn't go on, and you will see them for what they truly were, not punishments, not failures, not mistakes, but initiations. Sacred rites of passage that stripped away everything that was not truly you, so that what remained could shine without obstruction. You will see that every heartbreak cracked you open to more compassion, that every disappointment drove you deeper into authenticity, that every loss taught you the fierce resilience of the soul. You will see that the meaning you sought was never separate from the journey you walked. It was woven into every step, every breath, every moment of your becoming. And in that seeing, you will be free. Free not because the world has changed, but because you have. Free not because all pain has vanished, but because you no longer fear it. Free not because you have all the answers, but because you have made peace with the questions. Free to live, to love, to shine, to create, to dance in the sacred mystery of existence with the full abandon of one who knows they are eternally held, eternally guided, eternally loved. And so, beloved soul, I say to you once more, rise. Rise not because you must, but because you were born to. Rise not because the world demands it, but because your soul desires it. Rise not because you have something to prove, but because you have something to give. Rise and remember who you are. Rise and remember why you came. Rise and become the living embodiment of the meaning that has been written into your very being since the beginning of time. The world is waiting for you, and you are ready. You have always been ready. Now rise and be forever. And as we rise, we begin to understand something even more humbling, even more wondrous, that the journey of the chosen ones is not merely personal. It is universal. It is not only about the healing of our own wounds, the claiming of our own light, the living of our own truth. It is about becoming vessels through which the healing of the world can flow. It is about becoming bridges between the seen and the unseen, the broken and the whole, the lost and the found. We realize that every act of forgiveness we offer to ourselves becomes a ripple of forgiveness in the collective heart. Every step we take out of fear and into love becomes a blueprint for others to follow. Our lives are not isolated stories. They are threads in a vast, intricate tapestry of awakening, each one essential, each one sacred. And the more we live with this awareness, the more we see that we are never alone in our rising. We are part of a great, silent army of light bearers, scattered across the earth, waking up one by one, remembering who we are and why we came, strengthening the collective song of remembrance with every breath, every choice, every act of courage. But this rising also demands deeper humility, deeper surrender, deeper devotion. Because the closer we come to the truth, the more we realize that we are not the source of our own strength. We are not the authors of our own light. We are conduits, vessels, instruments of a love so vast, so ancient, so infinite that it humbles us beyond words. We realize that our gifts are not ours to hoard, but ours to give. That our wisdom is not ours to flaunt, but ours to share. That our power is not ours to wield for self-glory, but ours to use for service. The deeper we go, the more we understand that true greatness has nothing to do with being seen and everything to do with seeing the divine in every face, seeing the sacred in every moment, seeing the hand of God in every unfolding. And as we live this way, something even more miraculous happens. Life itself begins to speak to us in a new language. Synchronicities multiply. Insights flood our minds from seemingly nowhere. Doors open that we did not even know existed. We find ourselves guided with a precision and a grace that defy logic. We realize that the universe is alive, responsive, intelligent, and that it has been waiting all along for us to wake up and enter into conscious partnership with it. We realize that we are not separate from life, we are life. We are not separate from love, we are love. We are not separate from the sacred, we are the sacred made flesh, made breath, made motion. And yet, even in this heightened state of awareness, we remain profoundly human. We still stumble, we still grieve. We still have moments of fear, of doubt, of sorrow. But we no longer see these moments as failures. We see them as part of the dance, part of the beauty, part of the mystery. We embrace our humanity not as a flaw to be eradicated, but as a gift to be honored. We understand that enlightenment is not about escaping the human experience, it is about sanctifying it, illuminating it, loving it fully. We understand that every tear we shed, every scar we bear, every laugh we share is part of the sacred offering of our lives. And we begin to live with a tenderness, a reverence, a gratitude that transforms everything we touch. We begin to see that every interaction is an opportunity to bless. Every conversation is an opportunity to heal. Every moment is an opportunity to love. We become artisans of presence, sculptors of light, weavers of hope. We find that the greatest miracles are often the smallest ones. A look of true understanding, a word of kindness spoken at the right moment, a silent prayer offered for a stranger. We find that meaning is not something we chase, but something we create, moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath. Have you ever dared to ask yourself, what if the way I tie my shoes, the way I greet a stranger, the way I sit in silence is as sacred as any grand achievement? What if the meaning of my life is not in the great things I do someday, but in the way I show up to the small things today? Because it is. Because the sacred is not somewhere far away, it is here. It is now. It is in you. It is in me. It is in the spaces between us, waiting to be seen, waiting to be honored, waiting to be lived. And so we walk forward, not with arrogance, but with awe. Not with certainty, but with trust. Not with perfection, but with presence. We walk forward knowing that we are part of a great unfolding, a grand symphony of light, and that our role, however humble it may seem, is essential to the whole. We walk forward knowing that every step we take in love is a victory. Every breath we take in awareness is a blessing. Every choice we make in truth is a revolution. And we walk forward together. Because although the path is walked alone, we are never truly alone. We walk with all those who have come before us, all those who walk beside us, all those who will come after us. We walk with the invisible ones who whisper encouragement to our hearts. We walk with the earth beneath our feet and the stars above our heads. We walk with the great, unbreakable, unstoppable river of love that flows through all things, binding us together beyond time, beyond space, beyond understanding. And as we walk, we become the prayer. We become the promise. We become the prophecy fulfilled. We become the living, breathing answer to the ancient longing of the world, the longing for love, for truth, for belonging, for home. And in this becoming, we find the meaning we have sought all along. We find that the meaning of life is not something outside of us. It is something we are. It is something we choose. It is something we live, now and forever.